Greetings from the world of theatre. I'm here at the New Theatre Royal. We're in rehearsals for Wizard of Oz, so if you're in Lincoln, come and see it at New Theatre Royal, lincoln.co.uk. But anyway, Shazam. I'm not going to get too in-depth because I want to save it all for the podcast, where of course we'll be doing a spoiler-filled chit-chat about it, me and Matt, episode 146, which will be out later this week, so do tune into that. But I'll simply say this. The DCEU has disappointed me so far. It's failed to acknowledge the sense of fun and wonder and hope that those characters can instill, and instead is focused on trying to be dark, gritty, and sort of more grounded, and that's not what it should be. Wonder Woman broke that mould by having a more innocent eye and a charm to it. Shazam takes that baton and runs with it. It is gloriously fun. It is surprisingly heartfelt. And deals with some darker themes at times, but that's, part and parcel of that story. If you're going to deal with, younger characters, you need to obviously tread carefully with how you tell those stories, and it does it phenomenally. So, kudos for that. As far as visual effects and action goes, amazing. Probably some of the best set pieces that those films have brought up, and that the genre's brought up in the last 10 years. And it has an absolute banger of a third act. So, again, spoilers in the podcast on Friday, but I recommend. On to Matt now with probably more coherent, structured thoughts. Over to you, big boy.
So it's another car review. Another review from the passenger seat of the car after I've just come out of a movie. The movie in question, of course, being Shazam. Me and Chris are both going to share our thoughts on this one, although obviously not together. I don't know if I'm going to... Different cars. Going to be coming down. I don't know if I'm coming down before or after Chris's thoughts. It depends on how I edit them together. So I'm going to keep my options open. Shazam. Adaptation of the Fawcett Comics, then DC Comics superhero Captain Marvel, who can't be called Captain Marvel anymore for legal reasons because of Marvel Comics. Not to be confused with the Brie Larson Captain Marvel. Marvel.
Who was also called Captain Sparklefingers.
Captain Sparklefingers. Zapped in America was one of my favourites that you get in this film.
I didn't hear it, I was listening.
You see it written down. But anyway, yes. Zachary Levi starring superhero movie about a young boy who is given the powers of Shazam and can transform into a big old red lightning bolt-chested superhero with all the strength of the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the power of Zeus, the courage of Achilles, and the speed of Mercury. It's great, and there's not really much. I don't want to get into spoilers because actually there's some stuff in the movie. There's a lot of stuff in the movie actually that the trailers have done a really good job of not spoiling. In direct contrast to my earlier review of Pet Sematary, in which basically the whole film is in the trailers. Shazam has got some really cool stuff that you want to go in not knowing about, and it's a hell of a good time. It is such a fun ride. It's funny, it's warm, it's got some surprisingly scary moments, but I don't think it's going to be too strong for a lot of kids. I think it's a fantasy movie almost, so it's got that sort of monstrous element to it in its creature design. Oh yeah, because there's stuff in here that again you haven't seen in the trailers. There's a very strong sort of young adult sort of magical urban fantasy streak in it. The sort of balances the sort of, I want to say gritty, but that just is a loaded term now. It sort of balances the sort of real-world aesthetic of the DC movies with that sort of more hyper-real, colourful fantasy palette. It's just a lot of fun. All the actors' names escape me at this moment, but they're all brilliant. The child actors, you got a family of child actors with his foster family, who are with Billy Batson's foster family, who are just great and really nicely fleshed out and have very natural feeling interaction. It's a really good bunch of child actors, and the Zachary Levi as the adult Shazam is an absolute riot. Feels like he's channeling a 14-year-old boy. And of course, everyone's favourite bald villain, Mark Strong, in his best Grant Morrison cosplay, as the villain, Dr. Sivana. It's a real riot. It just doesn't take itself too seriously. It's a nice tonic after Warner Brothers have sort of driven their DC brand to the ground. It seems like, and we've said this before with Aquaman, and to a certain degree Wonder Woman, they've definitely learned what was bad, what went wrong with their earlier movies, and they are course correcting quite significantly. This is a real refresher. It sparks something much more joyful in the superhero concept, in its visuals. It's just a really good time. Again, without getting into specifics and spoilers, I don't know what more I can say about it. Go see it. You'll have a riot. It's great fun. It looks gorgeous. As I say, some younger kids might find some of the stuff in there a bit too much, but it's that sort of 80s Spielberg on the edge of just too much. So, it's Raiders of the Lost Ark or Jaws. This might be a bit too much for some young kids, but most kids will just be like, oh, that's scary, I love it. Especially kids like me who are a bit gorehounds are young. It's not gory. Halloweenies will enjoy this movie. Yeah, Shazam. It's cracking. We'll get into more of it on the podcast. I don't know if Chris has already said this. I'm in them together, so probably I'll just leave it in. Who cares? But we'll be talking about it on the next Big Damn Cast. So get your emails and tweets in at Big Damn Cast on Twitter, bigdamncontact@gmail.com. We'll dig into it. Let us know what you thought, because I loved it, and I'm gonna guess Chris really liked it as well. Yeah, it's great. We'll talk about it then.